welcome to the Reaction Show. My name is CK, also known as Commendable K. Welcome. If you're new here, please subscribe and click the notification bell and give me a thumb up if you enjoy the video. Humble beginnings. This is 50 Cent and his son Marquise back in 2006. So according to Wikipedia, on October 13, 1997, 50 Cent's girlfriend Shanika gave birth to son Marquise Jackson. Thompson, or Shanika, later sued 50 Cent for $50 million in 2009. Saying he promised to take care of her for life. The suit, with 15 causes in action, was dismissed by a judge who called it an unfortunate tale of a love relationship gone sour. The two have bickered for years and have even taken their feud to social media many times. Marquise's birth changed Jackson's outlook on life. He says, quote, "When my son came into my life, my priorities changed because I wanted to have the relationship with him that I didn't have with my father." He credited his son for inspiring his career and being the motivation to go in a different direction. Despite this, the two have endured a fractured relationship that began when Jackson and Tompkins separated in 2008. They were together 11 years, but he didn't marry her. Their feud has been taken to social media numerous times, including 2020, when Jackson disclosed that he used to love his son. That was 2 years ago. 50 Cent tattooed Marquise with an axe on his right bicep. The axe is "'cause I'm a warrior. I don't want him to be one, though." And he's not one. He is very entitled. So I say that to say this. A lot of parents that I've talked to who have sons and daughters who are now adults, one thing they all say is that they cannot stand their kids. So they were great when they were teenagers and they were great when they were younger than that. But as adults, they can't stand them. Can't stand the daughter, can't stand the son, can't stand any of them. But once you get past the age of 17 and you become 18 and older, they're an adult, you don't have to be bothered with them, and you shouldn't.
Wow.
These people are almost like your peers, and you should take somewhat of a back seat to simply give advice here and there to help them along the way. So with 50 Cent, he's no different. Now, he had a negative relationship with Marquise's mom, Shanika. He gave them more than enough money to not only survive, but thrive. And this is somewhat of a timeline throughout history. 50 Cent and his son roast each other. Marquise's 26th birthday, October 3rd, which is yesterday. 50 Cent's son says he wants serious FaceTime, not about the money. He goes on and on that it's not about the money. He wants to repair their relationship. And see, it shouldn't be the child going to the adult to repair the relationship. It should be the other way around. Now, if there's an adult that doesn't want a relationship with son or daughter, they paid their child support, and the person turns 18, that's it. If the person wants to walk away, they can walk away. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's just the truth. And so on October 10th, Marquise offered $6,700 to buy back a relationship. That's how much 50 Cent was ordered to pay in child support. And so the Marquise's solution to mend his relationship with his famous dad, offering a chunk of his child support money to buy back some father-son quality time. This was back when he was 25 and he just turned 26. So my initial assessment is that Marquise's relationship with his mom has gotten sour. I think she's like, you know what? You're a grown man. You're on your own. I can't do nothing for you. You got to move out. You got to find your own way. Now, I don't know if he's lived with his mom or not. I don't know his situation. But usually when adult people want to reconcile with their parent that was estranged, it's usually because they want something from them that they can no longer get. And unfortunately, based off of everything I've seen and read, this is probably attempts at Marquise to somewhat guilt his father, 50 Cent, into giving him money, giving him more money, or to somewhat carry Marquise to whatever finish line and destination that he wants to go to.
Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh.
And the reason why I say this is because just the fact that he is 50 Cent's son, that opens doors. The name in itself opens doors. At this point, the past is the past. You can't go back and change things. So with 50 Cent's name opening doors and the fact that he looks just like his father, whatever he wants in life, whether it be entertainment, such as the movie industry, television industry, music industry, he's going to be able to get a lot of open doors because of his father. But I'm willing to bet that he doesn't want opportunities. What he wants is to continually be supported. And I know what you're thinking. Well, maybe he does want a relationship with his father. Maybe he does want to catch up and do this and do that. And that might be so. But anytime you reach out to someone and they tell you things like they don't want you, you were somewhat of a mistake, chances are you should move on. So 50 Cent's son, Marquise, wants a relationship with 50 Cent after bashing him for his minimal child support payments. I don't even know if a sit down can actually restore the situation. It's just more of an olive branch. If you're up for it, I'm up for it. I'm definitely willing to sit down with him so I can hear his perspective and gain a little bit of understanding. We're both men at the end of the day. We should be able to agree and disagree and it not be a problem. This sounds great. It sounds beautiful. It sounds lovely. And 50 Cent's son says, thank you for the birthday wishes. However, this is all kind of like sarcasm because 50 Cent is crushing his son's hopes at reconciliation. And what makes the diss even more cold-blooded is the fact it comes on Marquise's 26th birthday, which was October 13th. The legendary rapper responded to Marquise's on-camera olive branch with a very personalized dig, burial, and a promo for his ongoing European tour. In the clip, 50 Cent is in the tub of his hotel, flipping through TV channels only to see Marquise's infamous interview where he claimed the $6,700 a month child support wasn't enough for him while growing up. 50 reacted with the facts. Marquise was once the beneficiary of $25,000 monthly support before the courts lowered it. $25,000 a month before the courts lowered it to $6,700. Now, in Marquise's defense, I'm going to say this. The same way that you live in suburban America, live in a nice neighborhood, nice car, nice job, nice flow of money, nice significant other, nice family, the same way that you're used to the life you're living, what Marquise is saying is equivalent to you and I going to Skid Row and complaining to them about our middle class problems. And people on Skid Row who are homeless, living in tents, they're dirty, they're stinking. They got to worry about gangs, worry about being beat up. People are trying to traffic them. They're not trying to hear about middle class problems of gas prices going up and the cost of inflation going up. They're not trying to hear that your store is out of strawberries because strawberries aren't a season right now. They're not trying to hear it because to them, they're like, you have more than enough. Look at me. So we're looking at Marquise the same way. We're like $6,700 a month. Do you know what I could do with that?
Bruh.
And that's kind of the point as far as the way he grew up and what life means to him compared to us, and us compared to people who grew up on Skid Row or have been there for a long time. It's very difficult to understand the other person's point of view. But we don't have to understand someone else's point of view because there's people right now on our level who are parents, their son, daughter, or both, or however many sons and daughters they had. They're adults now, and those adults get on the parents' nerves. Gets on their nerves.
You suck.
And it's probably no different than 50 Cent. So 50 Cent's son Marquise, this is October 13th, says he's ready for a face-to-face with dad, not about the money. Not about the money, even though he put entitled in a picture. Because he knows he's entitled. He is entitled. He knows he's entitled. And he wants to mend the relationship because he wants to, in my opinion, guilt trip 50 Cent for not being there. He wants more money, more support. He wants to continue to be carried, more than likely because his mom has somewhat dissed him or his mom has put him out. Something happened in his life to where now, instead of using his father's name to open doors like normal people, he wants more resources. But he says it's not about the money because he wants to bait his father in. Let's let him tell it.
And remember, you asked me earlier, I said, why would I be talking about him? I don't talk about him.
No,
He's
I
like,
said you should
well, look all the shit that he accomplished. That's not me. Why the fuck am I talking about him then? Because it makes no sense, nigga. I do not care about that. I do not care how much you love in the club, how much you love your last time. I love out myself. I do not care, bro.
Ain't shit for you because you grew up in a fucking 13-bedroom house. Nigga, I've been in that house. That shit don't mean nothing.
I did not grow up in a 13-bedroom house, one.
Well, anyway, you've been in there. You've been in it.
It don't matter. House.
He don't even be in that motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different lifestyle. When you're accustomed to different shit, it's different, bro. So you telling me, hold on, I got a question. So you telling me your child should be privy to the same lifestyle as Elon Musk's children?
Listen, brother. One thing, me.
I'm asking you. No. Answer my question. Answer my question. Do you think they should be living the same lifestyle?
If they living with me, they live in my lifestyle. If they living with their mother, they live in their mother lifestyle. That's the way it goes.
All right, so hold on, wait. So basically, hold on, I'm talking about this is the point. This is the point,
What's
bro.
the point?
This is the point. This is the point, Choke. This is the point. So just because if the child lives with you, they live their lifestyle. If they live the mom, so that means that they should experience two different lifestyles when you have the resources to make sure they live a certain.
Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying this. Number one, Marquise's mom should be making this type of claim back when he was 17 and younger. She should have been the one to make this argument. And she did when she sued 50 Cent and lost the case. When she sued 50 Cent for $50 million in 2009 and she lost the case, that was her argument. You're living like this, our son should live the same way you live, and I'm taking care of our son, so I should live the same way. She presented the same argument, judge threw it out. And it went from $25,000 a month in child support down to $6,700 a month. And that's not enough. So to me, this Marquise's mom has been programming him all this time. She's been saying stuff to him and around him where he could hear, where his mom was saying all this stuff. And now that he's 25, or he turned 26, his mom is more than likely giving up because he's an adult now. And his mom is like, hey, the child support we used to get, it's gone. Because see, he's an adult. So no more child support for him. Let me go ahead and break down why he's doing this publicly, or why he's doing this now. The child support checks have gone away. The money has more than likely dried up. So he's gotten used to living off of $6,700 a month, $25,000 a month. Now that the money's dried up, and the mom is like, hey, you got to find your own way. I basically was taken care of while you were 17 and under. Now that you're an adult, the money's dried up. I'm going to go do me, you go do you. And so because Marquise was hearing this programming during his entire time of being brought up, this is all he knows. So people are like, hey, you sound like one of those sugar babies. You sound like an entitled woman. Well, that's all he has to go off of because this is all he knows. So if you think that Marquise is ever going to be a provider for anybody, you're mistaken. Because all that he has learned to be and all he is going to be is a parasite.
Lifestyle, regardless. You that butthurt.
It ain't
You
about
that mad that mommy got new dick. Hold on, wait, time out. You that upset.
When it's over between me and your mother, wherever she go on and live on and do on, and I don't even think your parents was married. Like it don't work out, it don't work out. But that don't mean that she got cool, to live. And she got to live.
That's
fucking
fine.
lavish
That's
because
fine.
I fucking had a baby.
What point do you say? Oh, I got a question. All right, so with you, your child's supposed to be wearing Louis Vuitton, but with the mom, you'll get that nigga some sketches. That's basically what you're saying. You okay with that?
What are you talking about?
Are you okay with that?
Am I okay with what?
I said, are you okay with if your child lives with you, they can wear Louis Vuitton, but when they go back to mommy, they gotta wear sketches.
Mommy buy you
You'll be okay
Vuitton?
with that? My mom bought me the same exact things that I have in my pops. But I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Would you be okay with your child wearing Louis Vuitton with you and sketches when they go back to your mom?
That's
Would
what
you
the
be okay
mother
with that?
choose for them to wear. I'm not into the materialistic shit. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my.
Yeah, see, Marquise uses a bad example because if you're wearing Louis Vuitton shoes, you're going to wear them wherever you go. Basically, what Marquise is saying is that when he goes with his father lives, let's say, in a mansion. So when he goes to his mom's house, his mom should be in a mansion, not less than, so that he gets used to a certain lifestyle. Let me say this again. This is not Marquise talking, but Marquise's mom's programming talking through him. Because he's been experiencing this all his life, this is now all he knows, and that is to be a parasite. It is unfortunate because he may spend the rest of his life thinking like this because he has to be the one to choose to reprogram himself, and it doesn't seem like he's going to change anytime soon.
Wow.
Listen.
I don't care how you got
it's symbolism.
Child support don't make you a dad.
No, you got parents.
Yeah, that has nothing to do. First of all, I don't know why the money
brought
thing
it
even
up.
came up. That's not even my main thing. I don't give a fuck about bread.
You brought it up.
I'm always find money.
Could you
I'm not even worried about that.
afford right
What I'm
now
saying is,
to
what
pay
I'm
your
saying
bills
is you.
and pay a chick $6,700 a month? Yeah.
Me? No, that's why I don't have kids.
Okay. Understand that, bro. You see how you say no? That's a hell of a lot of money.
And I guarantee you this. Brother. I guarantee you this, Brody. I guarantee you this, Chuck. I guarantee you this, Chuck. And I guarantee you this, Brody. Listen, when I do have a kid, and if we do separate, my child will be living better than me, if need be.
Even if
100%.
Even if they don't respect.
That's my responsibility.
The cap.
That's my responsibility.
The cap. The cap.
So live your life. Enjoy it.
Yo.
Because see, in order for the child to live better than you, and let's say the child lives with the mom, that means the child's mom has to be living better than you. And it's just, there's no way for her to do that on child support. Because child support is always going to be a percentage of your total income. So for the mother and the child to live better than you, that means she has to be getting it on her own, or she got with somebody else who is able to provide for that. And see, that's what Marquise doesn't understand, is that if you want to live a certain lifestyle, you have to get it for yourself. Not with your hands out begging, not on your knees begging, not being a parasite. And he's never going to understand that. Because it just, this right here sounds like this is something his mom would be arguing and saying. And it's a shame that he's out here, a grown man, 26 years old, making this argument publicly and doesn't think anything of it.
I brought you into this world. I brought you into this world.
No, I'm asking you like before having this conversation. You felt like that? So
no.
So the thing is,
I never spoke to him before. This is my first time speaking to him.
No, I'm saying like, you know, but people
but right now I don't.
People make assumptions before even talking to Keith.
I never.
But you know, you see how you brought up.
All right, so this right here, this interview that took place on Choke No Joke, 50 Cent used this interview to say, you know what? There's just no way to reconcile with this guy because of his mentality, because of what he wants. He's saying it's not about the money, but what he wants to do is he wants to guilt trip 50 Cent into somewhat using the future to rewrite history. And you can't do that. You can't say, well, you didn't give me a good lifestyle in the past, but you can give me a good lifestyle now. No, it's not going to happen. And that's what a lot of adults are now experiencing with sons and daughters who are grown, who are like 23 and older, and they may have either never left the house or moved back in. There's a sense of entitlement because these people who are adults now, they want to control you through guilt tripping you. They don't want to do anything for you. They, not all, but majority, they don't want to pay bills. They don't want to clean up. They feel like because you're their parent and you brought them in this world, that you owe them and you owe them for life.
Don't make me laugh.
So we're going to do some history. So back in 2008, 50 Cent's baby mama house suspiciously burnt down. The fire broke out at the 6-bedroom, 5-bath house in New York. 6 people, including the rapper's ex, Shanika, and their 10-year-old son, Marquise, back then, were in the house. They were all transported to the hospital and treated for smoke inhalation. So this was 2008, and they separated that same year. 50 Cent and Shanika separated in 2008. And in 2008, that's when the house burnt down. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I know what you're thinking, but CK, it sounds like you're saying that 50 Cent was involved, that 50 Cent did it. 50 Cent did it. 50 Cent did it. 50 Cent. No. It was a suspicious fire, but that's all it was suspicious. The same year they separated was the same year the house burnt down. And the house was $2.4 million, January 2007. And he tried to evict Shanika and Marquise from the house, demanding she pay him $4,500 a month in rent. She said no, can't do it, and all of a sudden the house mysteriously burns down.
Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved. Don't save her, she don't wanna be saved. Don't save.
Yeah, so 50 Cent was not gonna save her or the son. And see, to me, he's always this is what a gentleman. A lot of us make this mistake. We associate the child that we have with a woman as being a part of the woman or on her side. So because he no longer liked, loved, or cared for Shanika, I'm willing to bet that he expressed that same feelings towards his son. And that's the reason why the estranged relationship started. Because he could have went back and forth with her in court, tried to work things out with her so he could have a relationship with his son. But the glitz and glam of Hollywood, plus his disdain for her, plus the fact that he felt like he was better than her and deserved better than her, he now looked down on her and vicariously looked down on his son. And we unfortunately do this gentleman. He was charged with domestic violence. This is just showing a history. This was in 2000. This was 2013. 50 Cent was charged with domestic violence, allegedly kicked baby mama out. Now, this was the second baby mama. The woman accusing 50 of domestic violence, the second baby mama. Of course, he has 2 children. So if he was allegedly doing domestic violence stuff to the second baby mama, is it a far-fetch that he could have been doing it to the first? I'm just saying. Because roller coaster relationships don't just start out of nowhere. Because again, in the beginning, when his son was born, he said it changed his life, made him want to do better. This was 1997. And then what happened? We'll just follow the timeline. 1997, Marquise is born. He's with Shanika. It's all good. Then around 2002, 2003, that's when In the Club, got really, really popular, and he got really, really rich. And I'm pretty sure he started going to better places, eating better food, being around better people, and he wanted a better woman. And they separated in 2008. A year later, she sued him for $50 million. They probably separated because she wanted more of a say-so in what he did with the money. They couldn't work it out. They couldn't come to an agreement on what to do with the money he was making. They separated. She sued him. It got thrown out of court. So in my opinion, and this is a lesson learned of, I'm not going to say that they should have got married. That would have helped her get more of the money. But you have to get with people who have good personalities and they actually are caring people. Because I'm willing to believe that 50 Cent didn't just all of a sudden become like this once he got money. I believe that he was always like this. She just wanted a bad boy. She wanted a thug. She wanted the gangbanger. And this is one that just so happened to take her to the top. And then when she got there instead of her spending money on like her own business, on investments for herself, on things to help her stay afloat in case the Titanic were to sink, she probably bought purses, shoes, spent it on crazy stuff, thinking that it was never going to end. And in my opinion, that is the true tragedy of this. And that is believing that things last forever, and they never do. They never do. So he says he didn't kick his baby mama. He didn't put himself on the second birth certificate. That's usually a sign that he ain't gonna stay around. He ain't gonna do it right. He ain't gonna act right. So when you were listening to him talk about the first baby mama, Marquise's mom, and he was calling her the B word, talking down on her, talking crazy about her, you probably were thinking, well, that's her. It's not going to be me. And you saw the glitz, the glamour. You liked him. You liked the money. You believed him. And then all of a sudden, you catch the same fade that she caught.
Bruh.
And now you're like, oh, I should have picked better. Now you're on a YouTube panel talking about you're divesting anybody but a black man. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Seriously. Seriously. It was a joke. You know this is what a lot of y'all do. A lot of y'all do that. Whether it's Save Yourself, Black Man, or Passport Bros, or Divestors, you always say anybody but someone your own race because you got done wrong. And instead of going to get therapy, you want to get revenge. And it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, all right? And so 50 Cent, he said he's so bad off in 2015 that he even owes his grandfather money. So this is 2013 about the birth certificate fiasco. And then 2 years later, he owes everybody money. He ain't paying y'all. He ain't got it. He ain't got it. So anyone else that wants to mess with him, just know in the future how you're going to get done wrong. But we're not here to put down 50 Cent. What I'm showing is the fact that there's a pattern when it comes to this gentleman. And it's more than likely that Shanika saw the same signs and she just kept on driving forward. Saw the same signs and was like, you know what? I can change him. I can control him because I want an alpha. I want an alpha that I can control. Yes, you want to control. You want to control. And then... Yes, you want to control, and then you get controlled, then ran over. And so 50 Cent hasn't seen his teenage son in 2 years. So it's 2014. 50 Cent's teenage son feels like he's been replaced by the rapper's new baby, the second one, where he allegedly kicked the baby mama. He said he ain't kick her. He said he didn't kick her, but the Marquise thinks that he's been replaced by the new son. The new son has a better life than he has or had. And Marquise's own mother, Shanika, she says the last time 50 Cent saw 17-year-old Marquise was May 2012, several months before 50's second child, Sire Jackson, was born. And so 50 hasn't spoken to Marquise since they had a very public falling out in January 2013 over text messages. The fight stemmed from a botched visitation attempt. 50 claimed he showed up to Marquise's house in Atlanta to visit, but Marquise refused to answer the door, and the texts that followed were brutal, including messages like, "F you, stop texting me, and I don't have a son anymore." Now Marquise feels abandoned. One of 50 Cent's people Says 50 is saddened by the attention-seeking tactics of his son's mother. He remains a proud and supportive father and feels blessed to have 2 sons. A source connected to 50 says the woman hasn't worked since 2002, and this is ultimately a money grab. So she hasn't worked since 2002. She gave birth 1997. They split 2008. She stopped working 2002. I do believe that 50 Cent was provider, paying everything, and she got used to that lifestyle. And when that lifestyle was kind of taken from her and he moved on, she became bitter. And unfortunately, this is what happens when people think that they're going to get the benefits of being married, but don't get married, or they think they're going to get the benefits of being a provider, but it's a tumultuous relationship. And so now we're going to the point where 50 Cent says he didn't blow off Marquise's graduation, says he wasn't invited. 50 Cent didn't abandon his son on high school graduation day, despite an emotional Facebook post. Instead, 50 claims he was intentionally blocked from attending by his son's mother. 50 Cent feels extremely hurt and upset by the photo his son, Marquise, posted on Facebook, crying in his cap and gown while hugging his mother. So it's unknown. It's unknown if it's his mom, if it was Marquise, if it was both of them. It's unknown, or 50 Cent. It's unknown who really did what. I believe everybody did something. Everybody's guilty. However, now that Marquise is grown, he's 26. Unfortunately, he needs to understand that as adults, you can't make people like you. You can't make people want to mess with you or deal with you or quote unquote fucks with you. You can't do it. And your father, for whatever reason, whether it was your mom, your dad, both of them, you, whoever, the environment, the black community, the black experience that you experienced at your level, which was better than mine. Whatever the reason is, you're now a grown man. And like you said, if you have children, you're going to give them a better life than you had. You're going to, I'm hoping, provide for them. You have to, unfortunately, wash your hands off of this and walk away, because what you had with your father as far as your childhood and being a teenager, you're never going to get that back because you can't go back in time. And it's apparent that right now, he's not trying to have anything with you, because you more than likely are going to try to guilt trip him, okay? It's more than likely you're going to try to guilt trip him and convince him through emotional manipulation to continue to support you. Because a lot of people who are adults now, who still live with their parents or move back in with their parents, that's what they do. They do the manipulation, they do the emotional abuse, all that stuff. Sometimes they even take their parents' debit cards and checking account stuff, like on the checks, and instead of paying bills for them, they put the money in their own pockets. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. And I think that, you know, Marquise has got to move on. The rest of us who grew up without fathers, we had to move on. And you got to learn that you got to be on your own 2 feet and provide your son or daughter, if you have any, with a life that you never had. All right. So Marquise says, my famous dad makes me a target. And he was targeted while on the basketball court, and says sometimes having a famous dad can work against him on the court. And this was back in 2014. So people know who he is and take shots at him because of who he is. This was years ago. Now he's an adult. To me, this should all be about a lesson learned. And this is 2017 when Marquise said that his dad's music sucks, but I'm not dissing him on new track. And he made a track which he critiqued his father's music publicly, said it sucks. And he more than likely was dissing his father. He was just trying to keep the door open back in 2017. And the last thing we're going to do is the fact that 50 Cent once said back in 2018, I wouldn't care if my son got hit by a bus. So they've been publicly taking shots at each other back and forth. Marquise is entitled. I do believe the mom was bitter because 50 Cent moved on. And we as adults, when we have children with people and we're not planning these children or planning to have families or get married, we got to understand that everything we say and do, the children are watching, and it's going to affect them, especially once they become adults and they have to stand on their own 2 feet, and they might not be capable of it because all the toxicity and dysfunction that we display, not only do they see it, they absorb it and they become it themselves. Yeah, so hopefully you all enjoyed this. This was an interesting one, to say the least. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Please subscribe and thumb up the video if you haven't already done so on the way out. Share to your social media, including your YouTube community tabs. My name is CK, also known as Commendable K. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.